And I'm just going to mute the line.
You are now muted.
Okay, welcome everyone that's just joining us on this webinar tonight. This is actually a practice webinar if you're going to be in the Rhode Island event. I like to practice my webinars in advance. Actually, what happened was there were actually 3 people doing this presentation in Orlando, and 2 of the people are not going to be in Rhode Island, so I have to do the whole presentation myself. But unfortunately, because of the way the schedule is going to be happening in Rhode Island, I'm not going to have the other 2 people, but I'm still only going to have the same 30-minute time slot. So that's kind of the reason for this practice webinar. But if you're not able to actually attend the webinar in Rhode Island, or at least you'll be able to catch this event and be able to see what we're going to actually be talking about. When I speak live, I'm generally a different person than I am on the webinar, so it's not going to be exactly the same. And again, I'm just doing a practice tonight, practice run, so hopefully it'll be honed down. My Orlando event was a perfect 30 minutes, and so it's going to be interesting to see. I've got almost 20 slides now, and I've got to go through the whole setup and all that. So bear with me. This is going to be a brand new presentation for me, and I'm going to be honing my skills a little bit. But it's on a topic that I understand very, very well. My business is exploding because of MiCrd. I've got people. It took a couple of weeks several exposures for me to find the right people and just to kind of hone like what type of people I should be exposing with the MiCrd. And but now that that's really starting to take off, and I've got a number of people that are very, very rapidly coming into my business, and specifically because of this MiCrd technology. So this was the way I can't say specifically. Obviously, there's a whole opportunity behind this, but at the same time, this was the way I exposed the people who are just joining the business. So, that's why I'm happy to share this, and hopefully you'll get the same value in your business. It is possible to use a technology in addition to, obviously, you have to take action. There's no magic here. And, I do have to do the disclaimer. If you're not a technology person, this isn't the only way to build the business. So don't feel like, oh, geez, I don't understand technology. I'm not a mobile person. So how am I going to build a business without this? No, we've got 40 other ways to build the business. So there's a number of different ways to build the business. There are people in our business that are exploding their business, and they're not using mobile technology at all. But for the younger generations, for the people that understand mobile, without question, this is a way to build your business. So let's get started with our presentation. We have a number of new templates that we launched in Orlando, and we're still continuing to build the templates. The templates are great. The original template that I created was based on how the mobile technologies work. So if you go to your contact manager, if you go to your calendar, the same way that, the original card that I created, that's the way everything works. It's kind of a top-down, you scroll down, you find the information you need, and everything you need is pretty much, at hand in the front of the card. But we, other people want, people kind of want what they want. So I said, fine, no problem. We'll make, a bunch of different templates. And really a lot of the new templates aren't really designed for Kivana business owners. They're designed for non-Kivana business type applications. So like if somebody has, we've got accountants and, like CPAs and architects and a number of other, people that are not only in Kivana, but also having separate businesses. So these cards work really well for that. But if you look at a lot of these templates, like the base template has, in addition to contact information, it's got your business links, and it's got a whole bunch of other features that if you're not in the Kivana business, you don't need. So if you look at a lot of these templates, I mean, they've got your basic contact, call, email, website, all that stuff. But beyond that, you don't necessarily need to, connect people with events, and excuse me, you don't need to connect people with videos and things like that. So if you don't need those, you can just kind of flip over to another template. These are all the MiCrd features that we currently have. You've got full contact info. You can add your FaceTime, Skype if you use those. You can put a welcome video on the MiCrd. Again, depending on which template, these features may or may not be available to certain templates. Up to 10 websites, 10 videos, up to 10 documents. These are great for introducing your business to non-Kivana prospects. So we had, Mike Clark in Orlando, and he has the front of his website set up with 10 steps. He's got 10 websites, 10 different presentations on the front of his card, and he basically has people go through step by step. These are the 10 things that he wants you to look at to do your due diligence on the business. So you could do the same thing with 10 videos or 10 different documents. So however you're comfortable with building your business, you can do it here. You can connect people with all the popular social buttons, social networks or social buttons. You can have unlimited events, and I'll show you, before the end of this presentation, an example of how to connect this in with the new Kivana social tools, social suite. MiCrd, you can actually download the MiCrd. You can connect this through your MiCrd so they can download your contact information and add it right to the contact manager. A very, very simple way to do that. We have a QR code connect. If you understand what those square QR barcodes are, you can connect through that. SMS contact, Snapchat. We have Snapchat Connect. If you don't use any of these things, don't worry about it. If you do use them, they're available to you. Big feature here is the product navigator. I'll be going through that. I'm just going to touch on the MiCrd beta because again, I'm just going to have 30 minutes in Rhode Island, so we're going to have completely separate training on the MiCrd beta, and then of course in the back office we also have the growth training. So what happens is you can actually connect to a number of different videos from people like Anthony Robbins and I'm just trying to think, Eric Worre, and we've just got a bunch of different leaders that are on part of that growth video, and all you have to do is just log into the back office. What we did was we aggregated different videos that were available online, and we put them, we put kind of the best of the best, so it'll help you with some growth training. You don't have to go searching to find out, like, where do I get this stuff from. Let's jump into the one feature that is exclusive to MiCrd, and that's the Q Navigator. No, you can't get this anyplace else. It's preloaded with over 100 different health concerns. It's a very, very simple way to connect somebody through the card to something that they have different health issue that they may be looking at correcting or making better. And this is unbelievably great for somebody that's just coming into the business, because somebody who's just starting doesn't know what to say to people. And how many times in conversation, just think to yourself, like, how many times has somebody said, I'd love to lose weight, or my mom's got an issue with rosacea, or my cousin's now having issues with high blood pressure, or some of the most common ones are easy. Like if somebody says there's an issue with high blood pressure, boom, you just say here's Prime. But there's so many other health concerns, especially the new person coming into the business. They don't know, then we see all these different posts online. What happens if somebody has this? What do you recommend? What happens if somebody has Parkinson's, or one of the really obscure health issues, and they're looking to just improve that with natural products? That's where this really shines, because within a split second you can get somebody to a page basically, and here's just an example of some of the odd ones that that might pop up, like COPD. If somebody says I have COPD, like, what do you send them to? It's like none of our boxes on the side say this helps with COPD. This helps with depression. This helps with eczema. So those are kind of the odd things that are kind of built into this into the Navigator. And again, you can't get this anyplace else. Once you pick something from that drop-down list, you can pick up to 2. Then it actually builds this Navigator screen. And the amazing piece of this Navigator is it puts everything they need to know or find out about the product in one place, so they don't have to go searching around. Before the Navigator, for me to actually demonstrate this to somebody, or to show somebody products, I would have to send them to the KivanaProducts.com. I'd have to send them to my, MyKivana.com website. I had them jumping around, and there was no simple way to get them exactly where I needed them to go to place an order or to find out the details or get the product papers. So people were kind of, clicking around. And as soon as people start to click around, they end up getting lost, or it becomes too difficult for them, and you end up not getting the order. So the great thing with this product is it allows them to connect immediately to something, to what they're looking for. And just an inside tip, I don't do this on my phone. What I do is I send this to them, and then I show them on their phone. And the reason why I do that is because when they walk away and it's in their phone, they just walked away with my whole presentation. They walked away with the way to place the order. So when they're ready to order and they've seen everything they need to see, I don't have to get involved from having to then reconnect with them or try to explain to them over the phone where to get this or how to do it. It's right, like I said, all I have to do is say to them, remember that link I sent you? Click on that and then click on the order button. So the order button's right there for them. I just want to jump through one of the big confusing parts about setting up the MiCrd is some people think that this is a mobile, what they call one of those mobile apps. It really isn't a straight mobile app. It's a mobile enhanced web app. So and sometimes that gets confusing because then I have people saying, well, how do I download? I can't get this downloaded into my phone. I don't understand how that works, or they don't understand how mobile apps work. And so what I did here was I just basically created a quick connection to what we all understand today. So everybody that starts with Kivana gets a MyKivana.com website. So when you went in to set that up, basically you went in and you put in your username, your password, and then of course there was a bunch of other information you set up. And when you were done, you had this MyKivana.com. So like my example is, my Rhode Island demo, this is just my demo site. So it's ridemo.mykivana.com. And so then you were good, and then you just started sharing this, ridemo.mykivana.com link. So, and that's really, so now you have your MyKivana site. Well, really, MiCrd is just an extension of your MyKivana site. So what you would do is you would then take your RI demo here, see how I just kind of dropped that in here. So when you're setting up your MiCrd, your free MiCrd site, you're just going to put your name, email address, phone number, and then whatever your prefix is for your MyKivana site, you're going to put it right in here. Then your IBO ID. You can either take the system-generated password or create one of your own. Once you create that, it creates this MiCrd.com RI demo site for you. So you would share this exactly the same way you share your MyKivana page. So there's no difference between sharing the MyKivana link or sharing the MiCrd.com link. Okay, the only difference is it's just a different website. Now, what's the difference between the two? Well, actually, your MyKivana site is also a web-enabled website or a mobile-enabled website. So you can use that from your mobile phone. The only thing is it doesn't basically have the features that the MiCrd has. So that's why these two things really work very well together. And so one is really just an enhancement of the other. So once somebody comes to the MiCrd, once you've created this RI demo connection to your MyKivana site, okay, so once I've connected this to my Kivana site, when somebody goes to click the order site, what it does, even from their mobile phone, is it takes them to a mobile version of their MyKivana site or your MyKivana site where they're actually placing an order through their mobile phone. So both of these are really mobile websites. There's nothing to download, and because of that, this works on every mobile device, that's basically web-enabled. So any device that's web-enabled, this will work on it. Okay, if it's one of the old flip phones, I'm going to say, yeah, it'll work. It's not going to work. It's not going to be pretty. But I've actually had people run this on their flip phone. So actually, the first person I shared this with, it was kind of funny. It was a technology person. So I just automatically assumed that they had, a smartphone, and they didn't. They still had a flip phone. And I was like, here, let me send you the link, figuring they're going to whip out their smartphone, and they whipped out this flip phone, and I was like, well, let's see what it, I just kind of played around and, let's see what it looks like. And it worked. Again, it wasn't pretty, but we got there. So let me I just want to kind of jump in at this point into like how we actually share the card and how this works, and like what's the thought process of the person when we're actually sharing this with them. This card works really, really well when we're connecting with strangers. So, I thought, we call it the cold market, kind of the insider term for, contacting people that really aren't part of our inner circle. They're not our close friends and family. This works really well with that, because it's a very simple way for us to kind of pass some information and get their contact information at the same time. So what we're trying to accomplish with this card is we're trying to get their attention. We're trying to share a product or the opportunity, depending on how you build your business. We're trying to collect some contact information, so this way we can set a follow-up with this person. And then, of course, the last thing we're looking for is to collect a decision. Is this person interested in coming and joining us as a customer and sharing some products, or, are they interested in coming in and actually joining us to build the business, or not at all? So, I mean, really, at the end, we're trying to collect one of three decisions. So that's where we are. And in order to do that, we really need to do what's called, we need to very simply be able to do something called situational prospecting. In situational prospecting, what we're really doing is we're trying to kind of join a conversation already in progress, or we're trying to steer a conversation in a direction where we can actually, share our information. Sorry, I got a bit of a cough. So in today's world, what we really need to be able to do, because people have no patience, because there's so much information hitting them all the time, we need to give them exactly what they are looking for, and we need to give them that exactly when they're looking for it. And we don't want to confuse them with extra detail. So that's what, when I was sending people to 2 different websites, I wasn't getting anywhere with people, because again, they were clicking around, they weren't finding what they needed to find, and I just wasn't getting the orders, that I should be getting. I've got somebody that's really excited about a product. I send them to a website, and I kind of stopped sending people to the websites. I said, here, let me get the product for you. And I was ordering products for people and then having them shipped directly to the person, versus trying to send them to a website or trying to get them the information. So it's a little bit more difficult if you can't duplicate those processes as you go down the line. So if I've got somebody that's brand new that's getting started, they're confused right off the bat, because they're not comfortable sharing information, because they're not comfortable where to find it. So I was looking for ways to make my business more duplicatable, and this is one of the ways that I was able to do it very, very effectively. So let's talk about like how we share, how you actually share MiCrd with people. This is something that Jerry Campisi came up with on how to share the opportunity. And basically what he says is, I've got a way to increase your business that you haven't thought about yet. So he's kind of, getting their brain going, and by saying you haven't thought about this yet, he's challenging them. So that person's automatically going to say, really, what is it? And so then, what he says is, it's through your mobile phone, it's really hot, it's unique, and it's free. But I have to send it to you. I have to send it, so what's your mobile phone number? So, he tells them it's mobile, it's free, so they're not, so it's not going to bring up that sales barrier. And he says, I've got to send it to your phone. So this is how he collects phone numbers, and this is how he shares the opportunity. So this is just one of the ways, again, he likes to always lead with the opportunity. So if you always lead with the opportunity, this is a good way basically to share the card. So here's again, this is just another follow-up on this. So I just messaged you. This is what he would do next. So once he actually gets it into their phone, he would say, I just messaged you, click on the link, or the video or the link for the QCash multiplier, and then I'll follow up with you, tomorrow, what's the best time to connect with you. So this is just an example. Once you get them the card, so again, I'm sending the card to them, it's in their phone. I'm going to show them how to get this this video in their phone. And then what I'm going to do is, once I know that they've got that connection, then I'm going to make sure I set a follow-up with them for the next day. So take a look at this video. I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow. And then, of course, tomorrow I'm going to answer more questions, and then I'm going to be looking to, collect decisions. This is method 2. This is just another way. If you're not that comfortable, sharing a story, a lot of times, especially in today's world, people kind of use the business card or the flyer as an excuse to kind of move on. So you'll be sharing, let's say, you say, hey, I've got this really amazing, somebody says they're looking to lose weight. I've got this really amazing weight loss product. Let me share some information with you. They'll say, oh, okay, yeah, do you have a business card or a flyer? Well, in their mind, they're trying to end the conversation and move on. A lot of people, they don't even know what you have. It's not like they're coming up with an excuse, but they don't know what you have. They just know it's going to take them more time than they have right at this second to give to you. They weren't expecting, a presentation. So that's the reason why people will say to you, do you have a business card or do you have a flyer? And then unfortunately what happens is the business card or the flyer goes into their pocket, into their purse, it goes into their car, and they move on and they forget all about it. You've never given them a presentation. You've never gotten their information. So now what? Where do you go from there? So this card is really a unique way to basically, if somebody says that to you, do you have a flyer? Do you have a card? Yeah, let me give you my business card. You say, absolutely. Here, let me give you my card. And so, but then as soon as you say that to the person, so now they're thinking they're going to get a piece of paper and they're just going to move on. You say, you know what, we've gone green. We're saving trees one business card at a time. Here, what's your phone number? I'll send it right to your phone. And so then what you can do is send them your MiCrd link right to their phone. And of course, if they're looking for a specific, like a specific product or something like that, I would always do that. If they're looking for a specific product, I would do it through the Navigator. You can actually share the Navigator card with them right to the phone. If they're not looking for a specific product and you're just talking about the business, then what I would do is once I sent them the link, I would say, let's bring up click on that link now. This way I know that they've given me the right phone number, and I'll say, let's click on the link because you should already have it, and I'll actually put them to the presentation. I'll say, here, let's click on the video. Let's bring up the video. I know you don't have time I'm not going to make you watch it right now while I'm here. As soon as you get a few minutes, take a look at that video or take a look at this document or click this link, that's on the front of my card, and this is going to give you the information that you were looking for on your schedule. And I know you weren't expecting this right now. Always be cognizant of everybody else's time, because other people don't do that. They just start going, blah, 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 and the person's like, oh my God, I don't have time for this. Why is this person, they're not saying it to you, but they're checking their watch, they're looking at their phone, they're looking at, looking behind you, because they just were not expecting a presentation. So this allows you to basically present your business to them on their schedule, which people really appreciate that. If somebody says to me, take a look at this when you have a few minutes, but again, always set up a follow-up, because people will forget, say, hey, let me give you a follow-up. And then I don't call them. I give them a little text, hey, did you have an opportunity? Because I've got their phone number. I've got their mobile number. Hey, did you have this is Mike again. Did you have a few minutes to take a look at that presentation? Or do you want me to give you a call another time? So, again, it's just very, very, non-confrontational way to share your business is highly effective. Method number 3 that I shared here, you can actually share videos and documents right from those pages. So, you can see right here that it actually exposes the video link for the video page. It exposes the document link for the document page. Now, I had said this earlier in this presentation. People want what they want when they want it. If you make them click around, if I send them my business card and I make them click to look for the presentation, chances are they're not going to do it. They're going to either get lost, they're not going to understand what they need to do, or they're just simply going to think, I don't have time for this. If I put the presentation, so if I'm talking to somebody about Skinship and how they can get their products for free, all they have to do is get 3 people and they can get their product for free. And I put the video right there. Chances are that person's going to actually start looking at that video while I'm talking to them. Or I could say, here's the video. You know, I know you don't have time right now. Take a look at it when you have a few minutes. And again, always set up the follow-up. But people really appreciate when you save them time and you put what they want right there in front of them. You've got a significantly higher opportunity of actually getting them to look at what you wanted them to look at than just sending them something and say, here, click around and try to find it. Okay, again, I just tried to put an example with each one of these different examples. So, you know, I see you like to purchase high-quality products. Did you know you can get the hottest new skincare system for free? So this is just an example of like how you can share, you know, that link. And you can see this is actually my card that I had set up, and you can see like Skin Shift 3 and yours is free is right at the top. And I've actually got a presentation coming up. I'm going to actually do a Skin Shift launch in my area. And this is the setup. And so I'll show you, I think I've actually got a sample. I know I have a sample here for how you actually link this card to the new social site that we're going to be launching or Kivana is launching very shortly. Here's just some of the basic setup for the card. Once you log into the card, you have to log in. It's going to be your email address and whatever password you set up, either the system administrated or system setup password or whatever password you put in. If you forget your password, no problem. There's a lost password thing. You just click on this menu. There's that little menu thing up on the corner. I'm just trying to get the cursor there. So you click on the menu, the drop-down menu will come down. Click on login, put in your email address and your password, or click the lost password and then or password reminder, and then it will send you a reminder, and then you can log in. This first site admin screen would be where you would set up all your basic contact information. This is how you set up your link to your Kivana site if you didn't set it up initially. You can change your title here. All those types of things are all set up here. You can also come in now, as I mentioned, you can add videos, documents, and website. You can have up to 10 of each. This is just an example of your video center. What you want to do is make sure you grab this. I did this one on purpose because you see how it has the u2.be. You want to make sure you grab that share link, because if you do that correctly, then when you actually set this up, you'll see the little thumbnail of the video from YouTube. So YouTube is pretty slick the way they set that up. And then, of course, you can set your own label up here. So 10 videos, 10 documents, and 10 websites can be set up as part of the card. You can have up to 14 social sites on your card. Just basically go to the picture. Again, you go to the social site, make sure you're on your page, grab the link, and then just drop it in here, and then just save it. 14 of the top ones. If something new pops up, or there's something that we don't have that you have, just let us know. And it's very, very simple for us to add another link and another icon to the MiCrd. This is an example of setting up an event, and this is, excuse me, this is where I had mentioned, I actually have this connected to, I've got an event coming up on August 28th, and what I did was I connected my card up to the Skin Shift, there's a social suite set up for each one of the different products, and you'll be learning about that very, very shortly. And so what I did was, as I'm just happen to be part of the beta, so what I did was I grabbed that, and on the 28th, when I have the event, because it's going to be a live event, what I can do is I can use something that's called the rev cards that are associated with each one of the different products. And you could see in this first one, this is what all I have to do is just basically grab the link to the rev card, drop it in, put my event in. I just put the date and time of the event. I put the label for the event, and then I drop my label in here for the or my link for the website. Make sure your websites always have the HTTP or the HTTPS in front of them. Grab the one that's actually accurate for the site, because if you put an HTTPS in front of something that's not that means it's secure. If it's not secure and you try to make it secure, it's not going to work. So just grab the whole link as you see on the website. So you can see here, these do have S's in front of them. But I just drop it in here, and now this is exactly what the front of my card looks like. So why did I do this? Because the day of the event, as I'm sitting down speaking with people, I'm going to give them my link to my card, and then I'm going to tell them to click on this link. And this is really cool because what it does is it's going to actually bring up a red card that it's almost like a little booklet so while I'm talking to them, they can just kind of be flipping through this booklet. And again, after they leave, they can still be looking at these presentations, watching the videos, and from that red card, they can actually order the product. So if they're not ordering product right then and there in front of me, or even if they are, they could be ordering product right there in front of me from their phone, and they do it through these red cards. So these red cards are really informative. They're very short, very easy. Flip through it like it's a little brochure, but it's an online brochure. So it's really slick. It's really cool. Just keep this in mind because, again, they're just putting the finishing touches on this, and it's going to be available for everyone very, very shortly, everyone that has the professional website. And so that's the end. Hey, it looks like I did it. It looks like I did it in the 30 minutes. So this is really cool. Nobody's going to be screaming at me and run out and get off Holly won't be like jumping up and down on the red button trying to get me off the stage. So this will be great. One last piece of information. If you don't already have the Kivana launch free web card, you can get it at this link. It's www.micrd.com/Kivana launch. Again, you just need a couple of pieces of information to set it up. If you're not a Kivana IBO and you want your own card, basically go to the person who showed you the MiCrd business addition to the Kivana opportunity, and then basically what you can do is you can then add a free card off of their card, and then you can get one of the other templates that basically don't have the videos and all that stuff. And so it's really cool. You can get a free card. It's always free, totally free. There's no upsell, side deals, limited time offers with MiCrd. So it's going to be totally free. It will always be free, as long as this is available, as long as people are using it. Thank you, everyone, for joining the webinar tonight. If you're going to be in Rhode Island, I really look forward to meeting everyone. Let me know that you're using the card. Let me know how you're using the card. Make sure you connect with me. Ask me any questions you have once we're live, and you see me in person. And of course, every Tuesday night I'm going to be doing these trainings. It will be different trainings every single week, starting next week after the launch in Rhode Island. So have a great night and have a great week.